got off to a good start in the first game, however, did have to go for a pretty rapid-fire 16 before George Richardson dismissed him. And he's a man who is not around today for Jersey. So just the one slip in place. Daniel Birrell starting steady. Beautiful delivery. Not a huge amount of movement in the air, but a little bit of nip beats the edge. And there's a bit of interest early for the fast bowlers.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's doing all the right things, putting it on the right area. Fourth stump line, good height, top of the stumps, good pace as well with the new ball. Doing all the right things, asking all the right questions early doors, and that's exactly what you want. And we kind of discussed this the other day, was a little bit hit and miss with the new ball. But good start so far.
And we imagine it will probably be Julius Samaroa from the near end, but we're yet to see. Two tall lads hitting the deck hard with this new ball. Jake Dunford with an all-time floppy hat behind the stumps. Very good look for a wicketkeeper. Kushal solid in defence. Just a dot ball. And Nepal looking for a calm, quiet start to this second innings.
And a slightly different task compared to the first game, where they'll be looking to chase down quite a large total. Obviously bowling second on here has its advantages, especially on a used wicket as well, and they've got some quality spinners to be operating a little bit later on. So the challenge is definitely there for Nepal.
First over goes for 3 then. And just a little flashback again to that first game when Nepal did bat first, as you mentioned there, Kaz. They could only clock up 250 with the bat. So now, with the chase on the mind, it's going to be a tricky chase for them to get all the way up to the 280 mark. That was well set by Jersey, thanks to 95 from Patrick Googe and half centuries for Zach Tribe and Harrison Carlyon. But it is Samaroa to get things started, who bowled really well at that from this end on Monday. Bowled an absolutely snorting delivery to take the shoulder of Kushal Bertel's bat. That was when he was still in single figures. Let's see if he can emulate that from this end. Very full. Bowled. Samaroa gets rid of Asif Sheikh with his first ball of the game. Just what Jersey needed, an early breakthrough. And Nepal now 3 for 1 in the second over.
Great bit of bowling there. Surprise package. Everyone expected length to come up, especially with the way the field was set. He's gone full ball clatting into the stumps. As we see the replay, it's done him all ends up, and he can't believe what's just happened.
Well, the early breakthrough brings about Ishan Pandey to the crease. And it took Nepal 24.1 overs to get there first. And Jersey make the breakthrough in 7 balls. And Samaroa started straight away with a full Yorker on the stumps. Do you reckon that might have been intentional?
Yeah, it looked intentional. From a big chap coming down, obviously you don't expect it, so maybe that was a surprise ball. But it's something that I spoke about the other day, having seen him for the first time. He does have a tendency of just falling over a little bit. Maybe that's an area that they'll look to exploit early doors to try and get him either hitting on the pads or like he's just done there, get the ball to slip through and hit the stumps.
No ball called by the umpire, so we'll see our first free hit of the day. And it's going to be Ishan Pandey's second ball he's faced that's going to be the free hit. Fine leg and third man of the men back. So he'll certainly be looking to club this away in front of square. Maybe he'll try and use the crease to Samaroa with a bowler of bounce. Where do you reckon you can find a boundary here?
Early doors. Maybe that's the boundary option there. The pull shaft, the slightly ball that's drifted down leg side.
Okay. And so potentially as we see Charles Pershard putting in some stretches at mid-off. I wonder if we might see him being brought on for an early bowl. Samaroa finds a good line and length, but Pandey equal in defence. And Kushal Patel knows exactly how to score runs on this wicket. And we're waiting for the ball to be pitched short. And Jersey definitely will be looking to stay patient. Right there. That's exactly where Jersey want to be bowling, as many deliveries as possible. Because in the first game, they let Nepal off a little bit in the second innings, and they were able to score runs at a good rate. However, Jersey are holding strong and not giving Nepal too much to work with in the first 2 overs, and they've got the wicket. Nepal 7 for 1, and Kushal Patel will be back on strike to Daniel Birrell. Daniel Birrell taking the 2 key middle order wickets of the captain Rohit Patel, and also the man at the non-strikers end, Ishan Pandey. Now, we saw a few of those in the first game from Kushal Patel early on in his innings, looking to get bat on ball. But once he was 20 runs into his innings, we all of a sudden saw very little. So this is the time to strike for Kushal. When he gets in, he is so dangerous. Maybe a little bit of a change in pace early on from Birrell. Patel getting through that shot very quickly. We've said it a lot. I think we would be both happy to see the Jersey bowlers vary their pace.
Yeah, and what it does, early does, it does take you away from the run chase a little bit, but it also allows you to bring a different dimension in without putting some pace onto the ball. Makes it harder for timing, and it also allows shots to be played on the up, which effectively brings in some chances to catch the ball. So mistakes do happen.
And it looks as if Birrell is just ever so slightly changing his pace. They're not big, obvious slower balls. However, Patel, again, just as you mentioned, driving on the up there, perhaps getting through a shot slightly early. Clipped through mid-wicket. Slightly on the up. Chases on for Patrick Googe. Terrific work. That tells you everything you need to know about Patrick Googe. Scored 95, faced over 100 balls in the first innings, and he's running across the outfield as if it was first thing bright and early in the morning. Top quality from him.
Great commitment, and that's the intent you want to see from your fielders. He's really committed to the cause there, chasing after that ball. Full pelt dive, a roll over the boundary rope, push the ball back. Fantastic bit of work from the team there, the two partners going out in tandem. Great bit of cricket there from Jersey fielders.
And that's the kind of moment that will keep up the body language, keep up the Jersey momentum. And this is a nice angle now, even though that's wide of the stumps. This angle from Birrell, from round the wicket to left-handed Pandey, just a slight amount of away shape. Could be successful here for Jersey.
Yeah, and Pandey's got to be very careful. He's got to be very decisive in terms of what he's doing with his decision-making, what he's looking to leave, what he's looking to push out, what he's looking to commit to. He's got to be really decisive. If anything, where there's a lack of decision-making, he's nicking off to the keeper or first slip.
Yeah, you feel there's a lot of pressure on Pandey here. Want to get into his knock. Pacing around. Full, driven. Good effort from Jonty Jenner. Patrick Googe has got another chase on. Look how fast he's across the outfield, but the ball wins this time. And it's a boundary for Nepal, and they move to 15 for 1. So now Charles Bashard has ball in hand. He's giving it to Samaroa. But he looks very, very interested to have a bowl. Does Chuggy. Samaroa just a one over in his spell so far. And with the wicket, will not want to be brought off. That's for sure. Field spreads, so fine leg and third man, still the only man allowed out. Everyone else on the ring, other than cover that's a few paces in, trying to protect that single in the offside. Here's Samaroa. And this will bring about the biggest cheer we've heard from the Jersey players if they can dismiss Kushal Patel early.
Yeah, he's quite an important wicket, isn't he? Especially after back of 100. And probably the main contributor, the only contributor really in the first innings in on the game on Monday.
Clipped. Beautiful. From Kushal Patel. You can see it's just got to the top of the ramp there, picked up by some Nepalese fans at deep mid-wicket. And Kushal Patel picking up where he left off from Monday. And that is a gorgeous stroke. Just a swish of the bat face, 19 for 1.
Gift at this stage of the game, especially with a brand new ball. Second over in, second ball in. You cannot be bowling full pitch deliveries leg stump to a person of his calibre.
And there he goes again. 2 and 2. 1 over pitched, 1 too short. And a player of Kushal Patel's quality will not miss out on either. He is top class. 23 for 1 now.
change of field after them 2 consecutive back-to-back boundaries. Deep square leg going out. Second slip coming into mid-wicket.
Yeah, the third man stays out, doesn't he? And short fine leg is inside the ring, as you mentioned there. So Julius Samaroa has now got some work to do. He brings deep square slightly straighter. Back on the mark. But now no pressure on Kushal Patel. He's 12 off 10 balls. And I can now understand, as you mentioned in the first innings, Kaz, about Kushal's gym experience. The power in those 2 boundaries at the start of this over, especially the flick over mid-wicket. Not only timing, but he just carries so much power.
Yeah, and it seems effortless at the moment, the way he's stroking them deliveries. But once it leaves that bat, you know it's going to the boundary. The sound, the impact, but also the intent to play the shot is there as well. So, yeah, great bit of cricket. And obviously, for youngsters that are watching, gymming is important, but having the right muscle capacity to play your shots as well, all 360. It's not about just being strong and big in the gym. It's about being explosive as well.
Well guided. This should just be a single. Oh, they're running on the misfield. Samaro's not going to be too happy about that, that's for sure. But that ends the over then. And Nepal are just starting to get into their stride here. And just to remind those of you who aren't aware of Kushal Patel's last 5 scores in international cricket, they're 129, 126, 20, 65, 105. Kushal Patel is hungry for runs. He's not going to stop until this chase is done. So Daniel Birrell to continue from the far end. And Jersey sticking with the slip in the gully for the moment, although he's having a chat with his skipper, Charles Pashard. What do you reckon will be the discussions there, Kaz?
I think it'll be a case of whether they're going to move the field round or they're going to get a short man in catching. I think the question here is, do you want to have somebody out deep, which is exactly what's happening right now with short third coming up into the ring. Yeah, having a deep cover out, just to give that extra cover for the left-hander, especially after the exquisite drive in the last over.
You can just see short third man on the right side of your shot there. The gully's gone into cover, and as you mentioned, that deep cover point is on the rope. And there's someone bowling to his field. Good amount of away swing there from Birrell. He's swinging it with the wind, and that'll be a very promising sign for him. And Ishan Pandey will be slightly worried, but this, at least that protection allows him just to hover it outside that off stump and hopefully build up some pressure.
Yeah, some really good tactic here, backed up with equally some brilliance in the ball. It's what you want to be doing. Good line and length. If anything, I would love to see another second slip in there. With that level of movement that he's getting, bounce.
Oh, blimey. Great stop from Dunford. I was just thinking where you could find that second slip from. And as I saw the ball go down the leg side, all of a sudden I think fine leg's probably got to stay there. But fine leg would have been my thought. If Birrell was confident enough to hold it outside the line of off stump, there's where you could find your second slip.
Yeah, for me, I would have probably gone mid-wicket coming across and mid-on going slightly wider, especially if the swing is there. If that delivery is there and he's targeting the pads, I'd love to go 7-2 field as opposed to 6-3 with mid-on going wide around. But equally, if he's going to hold that line, doing really well so far.
Yeah, and it's one thing, if anything, we've seen a slight difference between the two bowling sides, is that Nepal have been happier and more confident to stay aggressive, being more aggressive and for longer, keep the extra catches in. But this is good areas here from Birrell. And Pandey struggling to get him away.
Yeah, his options are minimal at the moment. Where he really wants to be doing is driving through cover and extra cover, which is a high risk option right now with the ball moving so much. He's just got to be patient and wait for a moment of error from the bowler.
Chance. Oh, he's just gone past the stumps. That would have been very close. Well, backed up in the end by Patrick Googe. He seems to be everywhere, the young man. And the pass at 26 for 1, which feels a good comeback after being 3 for 1 in the second over. So you see some children playing in the nets at long on. And again, Birrell is bowling well to this field. That's where he needs to hold it. And Pandey, it's now going to be a test of patience. How many times can he let a wide ball just go past? How long can he stay patient?
And from my perspective, the longer he stays in, the longer I would keep on Birrell. Bowling really well from that end.
There is a shot, slightly in anger. Patrick Googe is running around, he can't quite make it. I don't think Jersey will mind that. That shows that their plan's working. That Isham Pandey let the moment get the better of him and went out for an aggressive shot. It worked a treat, but potentially could have given a chance. That ends the 5th over, 30 for 1.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it was a pressure release shot.
And it looks like we're going to see a bowling change here. Potentially. Van Breda. Scott Van Breda wasn't available for the game on Monday. But he bowls a heavy ball, does Van Breda, that's for sure. Quite an ominous looking fast bowler. Again, having conversations with his skipper, Charles Bouchard, discussing a potential fielding change. Everyone in the offside in the ring, other than third man, just past a slightly deepish gully. Jake Dunford is up to the stumps. Also a short fine leg in the top right corner of your screen. That's Daniel Birrell there. Deep square leg as well. Right into Dunford's gloves. Now there's a big gap out here at mid-wicket. Deep square leg is slightly in front of square, but a stacked out offside field. Now it's up to Van Breda to bowl to it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's asking questions about trying to just bowl to the offside field.
Bit of extra bounce, good work behind the stumps, and a loose shot from Patel.
It's taken off a bit, that.
Dunford definitely would not want that to be on the central line of his body, otherwise he could be taking it on the grill. It's our first real sign of Van Breda, and he's a big man. Not sure I'd be standing up to this guy. He's bowling with power. It's going to be a good matchup here, these two. Van Breda against Patel. Uppercut. Not under control, but it's in the gap. And there's going to be 4 more. Nepal moved to 34 for 1. Is this just another sign of potentially what Jersey got wrong on Monday with the ball?
I don't think the plan is wrong. I think the execution of the delivery, just providing too much width to a batter like Kushal, who's not going to miss out on that, especially coming from a T20 background as well. He's not going to miss out on width outside off stump. So I think he needs to get tighter.
Well, he's gone too full. Is this a chance? It's Nick Greenwood who does the fielding. For a moment, he thought he was in the game there. It was always just a couple of metres beyond him, and he was moving across the turf with rapid pace. He almost forced a chance out of nothing there. But Van Breda did bring his line slightly tighter, and it brought about a potential moment. So 1 ball left in the over. Can Van Breda make something happen with Patel on strike? End of the 6th, 36 for 1. They're going at a good rate here, Nepal, but again, it feels like just every now and again, Jersey just gifting Kushal a delivery to put away.
Yeah, too many boundary balls in the first 6 for my liking. Just need to be a little bit tighter. Player of Kushal's experience will not miss out on that. Ishan on the other side, 10 of 14, capitalise where he needs to, but is slightly under the pump here because he's got Beryl coming in and bowling against him. The ball swinging away still, assisted very nicely with the breeze as it's going across the ground. So there's challenges for the left-hander.
Short down the leg side. Just glanced on his way with the pull shot. It's Scott Van Breda who does the fielding. Big screaming cheer from Nepalese supporters. A couple of flags flying around today. It's like the away end of a football ground.
Not much to cheer though today.
We've had a few wickets, but they took a while to come, didn't they?
We've not had the speaker out as well today.
No, I know.
Not heard that.
I kind of think it puts you off. I'm not sure if you can pick it up on the microphones, but quite often the fans are yelling and screaming as the ball is running in. And I'm sure these players are used to the cheer and the hope towards a delivery. But when there's one person doing it, it almost seems slightly more distracting.
I'm sure the Nepal players are having come from India in the World Cup when you got 40,000 people screaming Wankhede Stadium as they played England.
Yeah, they'd have been used to it there. It's well timed out into deep mid wicket. And Guj is the man again. You'd think, after a 95, just have a little moment in slip. Have a bit of time in the slip cordon and take a breather.
Absolutely not. Young lad.
He's running all the yards at the minute, isn't he?
Young lad, lots of energy. In the game. Might take a screamer out there, get Man of the Match award.
Patel advances and cracks the shot of the day through the covers. A beautiful cricket shot from Patel. And this is ominous for Jersey as the man in form is racing along to 26.
Beautiful cricket shot. For any kids that are watching or listening out there, the weight transfer, the execution of the shot, the hands going through the line of the ball, the weight distribution, using his head to get over the top of the toe, beautiful, Beautiful cricket shot.
And again, this is helped down to Van Breede. Patel gets a single. I think what's slightly worrying is the rate Nepal are going at. And Ishan Pandey's had to force a few boundaries, but it feels everything Kushal has been given, he's put away in no time.
Yeah, Kushal's done really well. 27 of 23 balls. Ishan just slightly behind, 11 of 15. But at this stage, it's not a big worry. They've done really well so far to get to this stage.
And Birrell is back on the mark to Paul Isham, who's been watching Kushal Patel tuck into some slightly loose deliveries. And meanwhile, every ball he seems to get seems to be Birrell's best one. Maybe Birrell's just got a little bit more confidence bowling to the man he dismissed on Monday. But that ends the over. It's 44 for 1. And Nepal feel on top. So 7 overs gone. Just a tick over 6 runs and over at the minute, Nepal. As we have a quick look at the bowling figures. Samaroa, 1 for 14 from his 2. And I think it's that far right column which tells you the problem at the minute. The economy. No bowler has really been able to build up significant pressure and dot balls. And what Nepal was so good at, especially that opening spell from the likes of Sompal Kami and Hemant Dami, they bowled well in a partnership. They didn't give away too much from either end.
Comes in for the second over.
Just a lens on it there to Kushal. Good slide from him. 2 more runs added. Again, slightly worrying signs there for Jersey, just because how easy it looks for Nepal.
Yeah, I think waiting for something to happen, but they're doing all the right things. I mean, I feel is in the right place, sort of trying to bowl a time outside stump. That's a tap. Good offside.
In the outfield, as Scott Van Breede with his luminous green spikes runs away from us. Now something's building here for Jersey. If they can keep something like this up for maybe 2 or 3 overs, yes, Nepal are already in a good position, but just feels like if they can join something together, if they can build a bit of something, they can get a wicket here. They've wrestled this game right back. Caught! At extra cover. No? Down. I think that's gone down into the ground there off the drive. I've been done by the bump ball. You're cracking up next to me.
I am, because that was a schoolboy experience.
I couldn't quite understand, like, yeah, he's gone for a lofted drive straight to cover, first ball.
I love the excitement. What was also really exciting for me is to see how close your head was to the roof of this
tent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost collapsed it with a leap.
That 45 was slightly square of the wicket. He's used the pace to go even finer. Beautiful cricket shot.
He really holds the key, doesn't he? He is everything for Nepal at the minute. Yes, they've got the skipper to come in next. DSRA, I'm sure, will want to have a bat in this game as well. But it really does feel like this man is the crucial wicket.
Yeah, he certainly is. Holds a lot of expectations for a very big country with 30 million supporting him. I'm pretty sure that he's living up to every bit of expectation so far, and he's done really well. Just looks so in control. What I'm really impressed with him is the fact that he's so in control of the time at the crease. Doesn't look like he's fazed by anything. And certainly not rushed up. I haven't seen anybody rush him up so far. We had the one delivery which popped up in the innings the other night, which took off the shoulder blade, but that's about it.
Tell you one thing I've also just remembered, and this was a bit of an unforced error, but when he was dropped on 50 on Monday, just at backward point, by John Tijeni, it was a tricky chance, but those two moments, other than that, it's almost perfection from Patel. So that one just picks up on a length as well, and that's the height of Van Breede. It's what we saw from Samaroa over the couple of games from this end, is that tennis ball bounce with the ball coming from such height.
Yeah, and if anything, the off spinner coming on again from the other side with a big breeze going down the leg side, maybe just wants to question whether it's drift that's on offer.
What a brilliant cricket shot. Kushal Patel is letting nothing not reach the boundary that deserves to. Patrick Good sprinting along that outfield. He's already had to do plenty of ball collecting from around the covers at deep point, but the poor man got 95 and is now picking up all of Patel's boundaries for him. But you're right, he looks so in control at the minute, does Patel. And inside the first 10, he's almost heading towards his 50.
The bit that I'm curious about is you've got the big tall lad Scott bowling from this side with a packed outside offside field. Now if he was to switch ends and pack it out being hit into the wind, and the off spinner coming in from this side bowling into the wind,
Yeah.
you're tightening up the game a bit more. And just bowl a negative line, just bowling into your field for a little bit longer. You don't give them the width to then hit long boundaries over there. Just not sure what the plan is to the right-hander.